Hello, everyone. Ron Gerber from AngelBeat. So excited to bring you Tracy Walker. He's one of the key technologists within the broader SUSE organization. He's been a big rock star presenter at many AngelBeat seminars. SUSE, as many of you know, is one of the industry leaders as far as open source solutions. They've got the huge history and credibility in the Linux world. They've got Rancher with containers. And about 2 years ago, they expanded into the world of container and Kubernetes security across all their platforms by acquiring NewVector. I think it'd be great to hear from Tracy to first talk about from a corporate level why the NewVector product line solutions is such a great fit with other existing SUSE solutions like their Linux platform, like their Rancher solutions. And we're seeing the broad-based acceptance in the marketplace. And now it's been about, what is it, about 2 years since NewVector became part of SUSE. Maybe you could offer some personal insights, and I know this is true, why you're so excited about the future on a personal level, why the SUSE organization is a great fit for talented executive technology leaders like yourself. So, Tracy, glad to have you here to share your expertise with the AngelBeat community. All yours.
Well, thanks, Ron. Honored to be here. So to give you a little bit of background, I've been in IT or internal IT for about 20 years. I spent about 20 years inside IT shops, various roles, mostly software development, operations, and in the last, and then did some consulting, and so a lot of hands-on and lots of the different environments, which also gives a perspective of kind of how different environments treat IT and security and things like that. And then the last 10-ish years have been more in sales and various startups and things like that. So joined NewVector a couple of years ago, or 4 years ago, and was attracted to NewVector because it had a unique value proposition in terms of security layers, where it does the security versus literally all the other container security platforms. And so that was the big opportunity. Of course, when we got acquired by SUSE, we could not have been more excited. SUSE had acquired Rancher, which we had already spent time with folks from Rancher and saw how popular that was with their community and as an open source project. And so we were extremely excited to become part of that. In fact, became a closed source security platform and was basically made open source, which I thought was a brilliant move by SUSE.
Got it. So it's interesting because when you look at your background, you're fairly uniquely qualified to comment on what's a good fit, what's the best product offering, because the bulk of your career wasn't spent pitching or promoting a particular solution. It's using that solution so you know exactly what works, what doesn't work, and the importance of a solid implementation pathway for any new product.
Absolutely. In fact, the number one golden rule I have learned is every environment is unique, and so proper fit here may not be proper fit over there, or that company or business model or whatever it is. And so I've learned over the years a lot of humility about how different and how challenging these environments can be, and
So that's good. So now you've got the SUSE organization, you're explaining it, the Linux platform, the Rancher container platform, the NewVector security capabilities as an overlay across these and many other solutions. So you can see where it's a great fit. You're also seeing how the SUSE open source culture of being very supportive of individuals doing it themselves, as well as providing that additional layer of support, security for those organizations that want to provide and pay for additional services, of which there are many. But now as you approach your second year anniversary at SUSE, what's it like for you individually within the organization? It's got to be a little bit of a change going from a small, innovative startup growing rapidly to now part of one of the more dynamic and still rapidly growing, but much larger tech organizations.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yes, there's always changes, but having been now with SUSE for a couple of years, a big reason why I'm still here, why I'm still excited about what SUSE is doing with not only other products and Liberty and Rancher and NuVector is there is huge promise with NuVector. I believe that NuVector could be the most used, most deployed security platform in the world by 2027, right? As a startup.
We'll bring you back on do another video blog in 3 years. We're doing this in 2024, and we'll see if you. What did you predict for the Super Bowl? We'll see how good you.
I predicted Taylor Swift would be on.
Okay,
but,
well that was an easy bet.
But no, because one, because it is open source, because people can try it. We've new support customers who have come to us and we're like, no, don't do a sales call. We're already using this. We want to show you how we're using this and how you're detecting things that our previous products aren't showing us. So that is the part that has got me excited, because I know we do something a little bit different. We do something that's not only unique, but the fact that we can automate it, make it easier to implement really good security. We talk about security layers and how you can add those security layers and configure them individually and things like that. So again, number of reasons there, but mainly because SUSE promotes security. They're trying to help users and customers, the community, and that's our priority. And yes, sometimes we introduce people to NuVector and they try it out and they may not pay for support. And that's okay.
Yep.
Because if we improved your security, we have met our goal. That's the broader, more infinite vision, if you want to think of it that way, that we believe we've got something that improves your security. And yes, a lot of companies do pay us for support because we have fantastic support and all of those things.
So what you're seeing is so many people are going to Kubernetes, or going to cloud native, they're migrating their applications to the cloud, and that offers an opportunity to rethink their whole security architecture and say,
Absolutely.
oh, I heard about NuVector. This is pretty cool. Oh, now they've got all the additional resources, financial backing of SUSE. Even better, we should evaluate that. So because it's open source, I've heard this from a lot of AngelBeat attendees. Okay, there's no barrier to entry. They can easily test it out.
Exactly.
And then what they're finding, and I'm curious about this, DIY sounds good. Like, I guess I could fix my own kitchen. I guess I could theoretically go to one of the major home improvement stores and buy kitchen faucets and the like, but I probably want to do it. I might, test it out a very little bit. And I think, I wonder amongst your customers if you're seeing people evaluate that, because the big thing that I know is a challenge in today's AI-driven world, where bad actors can do more damage with less skills because of sounds a little weird, but the ease of use of deploying ransomware and other malware and other phishing attacks. And so I wouldn't be, I'm curious your thoughts if a lot of your customers come from testing it out and then saying, it's just not worth to save a little bit of money. I better rely upon Tracy and their team, because the last thing I want is to save a relatively small amount of money and potentially create a catastrophic security issue.
Yeah, obviously every environment wants to save money and wants to use as many DIY tools as they can. The interesting thing, I love your analogy about the bathroom, because even when you're DIYing in your bathroom, sometimes you take that pipe fitting to Home Depot or the big box because there's 100 and yours has to fit into that. Well, now take that analogy and think about an IT department where you have picked 50 different types of technologies and your skill sets inside and the culture inside. And some companies develop their own software and others buy off the shelf, and all of the mix that you could possibly have, and operating systems and virtualization technology, et cetera. So you can multiply that bathroom times 100. And that's what people are facing, especially when they're doing the DIY. Okay. And so that's what makes those open source tools easy for them to adopt, try out, and see how they fit in their environment.
I even know on some of the apps we use on AngelBeat and our website, we can try it on a limited basis to facilitate registrations, things like that. Mm-hmm. And even on our more modest scale, I always go for the paid versions because we need the support and the time money trade-off always errs on the side my time is too important.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And especially when you are dealing with security and you get an alert and you're kind of like, we're not really sure about this. And that's when you've got support, you got experts who've seen this before and things like that.
And I think that's probably one of the great things of the whole new vector community growing exponentially is that when you see a problem, let's say you're starting at, okay, I can go to the new vector community site, post a question to the community, see who responds. Very easy, learn what they're doing. Great to get some other insights. And what I think, what I'm seeing, it's almost it's like the Google networking effect. You know, why so many organizations struggle to provide a competing alternative to Google search, because the more you do Google search, the better the search results are. So the more people use Google search, which makes the search results even better. It's just a self-fulfilling circular system. I think it's probably the same way with New Vector. Okay, now it's open source. Glad that New Vector is adopting the whole SUSE open source mindset. And then what's going to happen? Okay, we get all these new SUSE customers, Rancher customers checking out New Vector. Wow, this is great. They tell their friends. There's no barrier to entry. Get more people using it. The community gets bigger. People now use it. The open source kernel or whatever the equivalent is for the new vector product gets better. And then companies then say, okay, we're getting bigger and bigger. I need to take advantage of SUSE's corporate support services. And then that makes everything get better. You can just see it's going to be, we'll see if your 2027 predictions come through. But I think what you're betting on is that Google network effect and the multiplier effect of when users grow exponentially, the value of that product, be it Google search or new vector security, grows exponentially.
Exactly. It's not because I think we've got marketing, we've got sales, we've got all of those pieces, but it's like you said, we have users who are coming to us now saying, we're already using it. It's already proven its value. It's detected things that we had to go to other vendors and say, why are you not seeing this? So the value becomes very apparent, adds a lot of automation, makes it easier for the DIYs, and it's verifiable real security, right? It's not a monitoring tool pretending to be security. It actually can enforce rules and policies, do security as code. So lots of exciting layers that,
that's great. So
people can do.
As we finish it up, there's two things I would like you to comment on. Is first, maybe you could share with us how, even though you're part of the broader SUSE organization, I think this same strategy applies across all the SUSE product lines, we still make this available to all of our competitors. We have a clear wall, a separation between our professional services group and our technology developers who continually refine and expand the open source product. Maybe give us a little bit of insights into how that internal dynamic works, why it's so important, why so many of the SUSE competitors still use SUSE technology, which is, as we discussed earlier, it's somewhat analogous. I like coming up with these technologies like Dell XPS laptops and Microsoft Surface. You've got the Windows 10, Windows 11 product development teams and Redmond doing the fantastic software creation, but then you've got the hardware teams, totally separate building. Don't talk to me. I'm not, we have to make sure we operate at complete arm's length. So it'd be interesting to share some insights into that dynamic within the SUSE organization that covers all the product lines, and maybe some ideas and some of the key things you're working on in the rest of 2024.
Yeah, sure. Well, I think that at least within SUSE, when they acquired Rancher and then they acquired New Vector, as a company that has engineers and specialists and people who understand the technologies, I think that SUSE has been, you already have those silos. So you already kind of have everybody working and doing the software development lifecycle like they have. So the key has been for SUSE is to break down some of those silos to help, let the engineering teams talk to each other and share secrets, how, improvements to the UI and different things like that. And yet at the same time, not creating that lock-in, not saying, well, NuVictor still works on Kubernetes and OpenShift and Rancher and all the cloud providers. And so you still have the SUSE philosophy that we don't want to create lock-in. Lock-in's bad, right? We don't like lock-in. So we want everything to work together. We want these products, because we believe in them, they should be able to work with other products. You should be able to have security layers from multiple products, because if it improves my security, that's what I want. So that's, that philosophy, I think, is working, and we're starting to see the benefits from some of that. And then I know that kind of going into 2024 and into the future, you're going to see more capabilities being shared between like Rancher and NuVector, because they do fit very, very well together. Edge solutions, where we're developing small ways of using Rancher and NuVector, and very, very small edge environments where you have thousands of endpoints and clusters out there. So so the future is extremely bright. There's a lot of things being worked on and coming as we grow with all of those who are moving to cloud and containers and Kubernetes.
3 of the key buzzwords. And I think the 4th key buzzword of 2024, you forgot to mention AI, and all of these initiatives around AI. All AI, for many of you out there, and you hear all the hype, in simple terms, all AI is just another app, another business solution that you can deploy. It's pretty freaking powerful. And to make AI work, you need the power of computing that AWS, Microsoft, and Google offers. I mean, the only reason AI works is you've got access to a mainframe on steroids growing exponentially that can run all these AI algorithms and produce great results almost instantly. But I think,
absolutely,
so again, everyone's computing environment is changing rapidly. There's new applications. Who knows what it'll be in 5 years once everyone's used. Okay, Gen AI is a big deal. We know that hosted apps are a big deal. It's platform as a service, software as a service, infrastructure as code. Now it's Gen AI and RAG and vector databases. I mean, the only thing you can be certain of is things are changing. And I think we encourage everyone to check back with SUSE, understand how their technology is very supportive. And remember, my own personal takeaway, well, I was joking a little bit about Gen AI, but it is a very game-changing technology. And yet you need to have experts like Tracy and his team available, because Gen AI applications could rapidly go off the guardrails, create many unintended consequences, despite your best efforts, but despite your security protocols. So I always encourage people, absolutely take advantage of the open source solutions, debug it, just like little old Angelby does when we're setting up. Like we did some things where we've got a open source or a free platform. We could do an online database, and we could use a small open source tool to get our online database registrants to automatically sign up in Zoom. We just went for the free version, the paid version, because the downside, the risk are just too high from a performance, reliability, quality, security, compliance, et cetera, standpoint. So, that's my takeaway is come to Angelby, follow SUSE, SUSE.com. You can follow Tracy Walker on LinkedIn. You can absolutely look at our events. If people have questions about this, rgerber@angelbeat.com. Get a hold of me. We'll put you in touch with Tracy and the appropriate members of his team, be it if you're interested in Linux, in containers, in cloud native security. They've got experts across all these areas. And again, even if you're just looking for guidance and saying, well, look, I just want to do a free proof of concept using NuVector or Rancher or Linux, how do you start? And there are people like Tracy who'll be glad to guide you. And then you can then make your own decision on, do you still want to do it in the DIY world or take advantage of their enterprise high quality services?
Could not have said it better myself, Ron.
That's good. Well, if all else fails at Angel Beat, I will become Tracy's assistant in the future.
2027. There'll be
That's
some
right.
openings.
That's right. We'll see how well Tracy as a predictor is. He did get but that's a pretty easy bet. Tracy predicted that Taylor Swift would be at the Super Bowl, but that's a pretty easy bet. Let's see if he comes true, and you can always get an update by listening to Tracy at one of our upcoming Angel Beat events. Thanks again, Tracy. I really appreciate your time.
Thanks, Ron.